Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, August 5th, and this is the last time me and Tom will talk together before there's an NFL game played.
That's right. I forgot.
We have the Hall of Fame game tonight. Huge. They always go all out for that one. No, Ben and Dak are sitting. How you doing, Tom? I don't know why they do the Hall of Fame game. It makes no sense.
I was going to say, it's probably the most pointless football game every single year that nobody watches. I'm doing all right, though, Your interview was good this morning, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it was interesting, to say the least. Actually, I got this weekend and next weekend mixed up because obviously next weekend is that Fantasy Expo in Canton that I'm going to. I thought the induction ceremony was that weekend as well. I was like, I'm gonna have so much to cover. I'm so excited. But it's this weekend. The game tonight. But we have a lot to talk about. Maybe the U.S. is back a little bit, just overall. So the USA men's team was down super bad early to Australia. Kevin Durant brought him back. They'll play in the gold medal game versus Slovenia and France. That game's done. I just have to check the score. The U.S. women's team, they did get bronze in a 4-3 win, so good for them. And then I guess the disappointing thing from today is it's I believe it's the fourth straight Olympics that the United States has failed to qualify for the 4x100 meter dash because they can't pass the baton. And I just have a quick story. So I ran track when I was in 7th grade, and I played baseball, but they didn't have a 7th grade baseball team. They had 7th and 8th grade track and 8th grade baseball. So I did track and then travel baseball that year. But I was fast, but I wasn't fast like some of these 8th graders. And they put me in the 4x100 meter. I was the second leg. And so he's coming towards me. I've never really done it. Didn't really know him. Obviously the Olympics, they know how to pass the baton because, other than US, they actually work at it. But the first time I was ever in a big race like that, I decided not to wear socks underneath my track spikes. So I had my foot was on there, and then he came to give me the baton. My shoe slipped off. I had one shoe on, and I dropped the baton, and then just walked it to the next person, and we lost. So, but it is incredible that that's 4 straight Olympics that the U.S. have failed to qualify. It's not as hard as it should be, but we'll get into all that. There's a lot to pick through today. So
it's also going to be the U.S. versus France in the basketball.
Okay, it is. So Slovenia lost then.
Finally, 17-1.
Bummer. I do think France has the better chance to beat the United States.
I just wanted to see Luka take on the whole team.
I agree. I wanted to see Luka take on the whole team because it would have been I'm not a huge fan of Luka. I think he's kind of whatever, but if he just owns the NBA. If he would have taken Slovenia and beat he would
be the face of basketball at least until the next Olympics when he did it again.
All right, so we'll start with today in sports history, and then we'll do our MFK and then some trivia. This is insane. I just saw this today, and I can't believe this is real writing. In 1966, West Indies cricket captain Gary Sobers scores 174, including a century between lunch and tea to set up a 4th Test win versus England at Headingley.
I have no idea what any of that means.
I always like to find the cricket ones, but the fact that this one had lunch, did they take a break and just have lunch and tea?
Was the game that long? Did it start at 8 a.m. and go until 2 p.m. and they had to take a break for lunch?
Oh, cricket games take days.
What?
You didn't know that? Oh, I thought you at least knew a little bit about cricket. I don't know the rules or anything. I just know they take days to play. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I do think they
The only
probably.
thing I know on cricket is that game that you used to play on mini clip when you had like your mouse control the thing and you just hit the balls, keep
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
milk
yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the only thing I know about cricket.
Mini clip. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, is that even still up anymore? I remember that
yeah,
when
it
I was
still
in high school.
works. Yeah,
Do you ever play Hella or Heli? Get to the helicopter attack. That's the one I always played when I was younger. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Anyway.
uh, speaking of our Hall of Fame induction, in 2006, Warren Moon became the first black quarterback inducted to the Hall of Fame. All right. And then, all right, our MFK of the day, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, and Alvin Kamara.
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm gonna just do it reverse. Kamara, Henry, Chubb. I'm sorry.
Who are you killing? Chubb?
Yeah,
Ah, that's stupid. See, dumb. I'm marrying Nick Chubb.
of course you are.
I am totally banging Alvin Kamara, and I'm killing Derrick Henry.
I
100%.
kind of knew you were gonna kill Henry. I'm not gonna lie.
More than anything, he'd just be like, "Yeah, I'd kill him." And you're like, "You, no, I'm not going to say that."
But how do you kill him? I mean, look at him.
Hey, you know what? I mean, we'll talk about the Browns later, but I mean, the Browns were the only team last year that made him fumble twice. That's how you control them. I am actually looking forward to this season. At some point, Derrick Henry has to become some part of the passing game, right?
I mean, they started to involve him a little more last season, but not enough to make him like a threat. He needs to become a threat. Like even if you hit him with like just a couple of screens, like 2 screens a game, just to keep him honest, you know?
Yeah, like I'll say like right now, my tier of running like the best running backs in the league, I probably have Derrick Henry number 1, but it's just the fact that he's so big. Like they just have to find a way to get him, like find different ways to give him the ball. He's so good. But like I said, I'll kill him. It's fine. All right. And then all right. So the Olympics are wrapping up. Tom, I didn't know this beforehand, but you were obviously a big fan of the Olympics. I don't know. Let's just kind of go through maybe some of our, better memories of this Olympics, some of the surprises, some shocks. All right. But I do have one pointed question. Who was the best male U.S. athlete at the Olympics?
I have to go with Caleb Dressel. I think his name is the swimmer. He just looked dominant in everything that he did. Like a young Phelps, but not nearly as dominant. But he looked great. And then he was one of the athletes that I always like tuned in to go watch when he was on.
Oddly enough about him, so in Navy SEAL training, they make you part of the training is like you have to go 50 meters underwater, hold your breath, like go swim 50 meters. And I guess Caleb Dressel does it but he not only does it to because Navy SEALs do to survive. He just did it so fast. They did a video on it. Yeah. So I mean, he could probably be in the Navy SEALs, but yeah, he was definitely one. I would say, and then I do have to give some credit to Kevin Durant. He's basically so what was it, Tuesday night when they played Spain, or it was Tuesday early, 12:40 a.m. And I was on a different podcast with the Cavs, and I had stayed up to watch their game with Spain. Well, first of all, Ricky Rubio, who's now on the Cavs, was a god, and he actually looks like Jesus Christ himself. So, but he was great. But yeah, KD was the only one that brought him back in this game. I didn't check out the box score from this game, the Australia game, but it said Durant led them. So I think he's definitely up there. I'm trying to think if there's any. All right. So I guess who was the most disappointing athlete? Doesn't have to be U.S. or it doesn't really.
It would probably help if I knew more of the athletes themselves.
I mean, obviously, I mean, I'll just be the one to say it. I'll take heat for it, whatever. I mean, it was disappointing to not see Simone Biles.
Yeah.
I like it. I had nothing problem with her like taking her mental health and all, but it was like I was like I don't obviously watch gymnastics, like I don't obviously watch swimming, but those are like two events in the Summer Olympics that I'm like once the finals get geared up for it, it's the best.
Yeah. Well, and just to say disappointing doesn't have to be like they did perform poorly. Like I was disappointed not to get to see her performance because she is the best like gymnast right now, and
she has like two moves that she created that are named after her. So yeah, that when I say disappointed, I'm not disappointed in her. I'm just disappointed that, I mean, she going into these Olympics, she was like going to be one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, if not like the best. So yeah, that was disappointing. I will say I did not follow a lot of the track and the sprints and stuff, but I was a little disappointed in those, mainly because Noah Lyles, I think, is their top sprinter. He didn't win anything, or he got silver. I will say one of the biggest surprises, obviously, an Italian guy won the 100-meter dash. Like, that's unbelievable. Like I expect Italian guys, like they're like soccer players, to like run 35 miles at a fast time, not like a 100-meter dash. So that was surprising. But yeah, seeing the U.S. kind of flame out of a lot of these track events, it sucked. And I will say probably one of my more favorite moments, and we can get to you then, was the high jump final with the
that's
two guys.
What I was gonna say.
Yeah, the high jump final. I mean, that was awesome. Those dudes were going at it, and it was just awesome. And they shared the gold medal. It was awesome. So I thought that was really cool.
I also loved. I know you have like my favorite performance or whatever on here, like Sydney McLaughlin doing the hurdles. She's actually from New Jersey, and she actually went to school with my cousins over at Union Catholic.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So like, I didn't go like watch them because none of my cousins did track. They all did like swimming and baseball and softball and stuff. But just like knowing that that's like the hometown kind of kid around here, it was really cool to like see her perform and like to see her dominate really as much as she did.
Yeah, that was one of the. I read an article yesterday on Yahoo. I don't know if you came across it, but it was a lot of the track at these in Japan. The track, basically, it's a new. I don't know if it's a new company. It's a company that made their own track. So they had like athletes tested out for 4 or 5 years, different things, and basically they said the track ended up like. It was like more cushiony and it was bouncier. It like almost felt like you were running on air. So that's why, I mean, the hurdles records all got destroyed this year. I think every hurdles record got crushed. So that, I mean, it is all, let's be real. I mean, it would have been one of the funnier moments. I mean, the hurdles are usually pretty funny. I mean, I remember back in 7th grade when I saw my friends try to do hurdles, and at that point the hurdle was almost as tall as me. So no, I'm not that short, but it's always funny when someone wipes out. But yeah, and then I will say, even though it was like talked about a lot going into the Olympics, and maybe it was just because I didn't like actively go out and try and find it. I wish I would have watched or at least seen like some of the BMX or skateboarding.
I always forget that that's in the Olympics. Well, because they had the X Games for that.
Yeah, and this was the first Olympics for skateboarding.
Okay.
Yeah. So they had that, and then yeah, I just wish I would have kind of watched it. This will date me and age me, but like I don't know, like I can't. The last skateboarder, like Ryan Sheckler, I think his name is. Like, so
I don't even know Tony Hawk because he had a dope.
Okay, well everyone knows who Tony Hawk is.
He had a dope video game.
Tony Hawk was in. Did you see he performed in the X Games this year?
I saw he helped out with something.
Yeah, no, he did it. He did like he did something just like 52. He like went down the ramp or whatever, but then the 12-year-old beat him. or something like that. So whatever. But yeah, I was disappointed to watch that. But that's probably because I just didn't actively out search it. Also, I do feel bad for, I believe her name is Mary Lou Samuelson. She's the women's basketball player. Her whole dream, she's in WNBA and everything. She went to UConn, I believe, but her dream was to play in the Olympics. She didn't get picked for the Olympic team, but because of the 3-on-3, she got picked she had been training for 3-on-3 a little bit on the side and everything. She got picked for the 3-on-3 tournament. And then the day before it was about to start, she got COVID, had to go home. And it was like her big dream to play in the Olympics. And this would have been her last shot. So that was disappointing for her. I felt bad for her. But yeah, and then the last thing I'll say is whoever the swimming guy is that does I can't remember his name. You probably know his name. The guy who goes crazy when they swim. The announcer.
Oh, I don't know his name.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about, though?
I do.
That dude, if he, commentated, NFL games or, if I saw him, every Sunday commentating swimming meets, I wouldn't like it. But getting him for, a full month every 4 years is just the exact amount much I need of him because it's awesome. He is awesome. He is so cool. He is so into it. And I remember even watching the swimming trials before the Olympics, and he was going nuts at the trials. So I'll find out his name, but yeah, he was cool. So any other memories from the Olympics for you?
Not right off the top of my head. I love the Olympics because we get to see all these sports that we don't get to see in general. So it's always really cool watching the beach volleyball. I was watching the beach volleyball yesterday for a little bit, and I was watching the A team or whatever. Did you see Mr. T sent them a message or something on Twitter? Because they call themselves the A team, and obviously Mr. T was in the A team, and he kept quoting the movie or the show or whatever, and they were talking about it, but they're really good.
The females that. And even the males, sure, I guess. But what the females that play beach volleyball are A, all taller than me, and B, they could probably beat me up. They're high school volleyball. When I watched it, it was you went because the chicks wore spandex. You got it, whatever. And then, but seeing volleyball at an elite level it's actually exciting.
Yeah, it's so much fun to watch. I was dumbfounded by how precise every move was.
And we'll get to maybe our Mount Rushmore, but if the U.S. could put together a dominating team for men's volleyball, just put LeBron and Kevin Durant on the outsides and you block everything. And then, I don't know. But yeah, so overall it's pretty good Olympics. I know there was a lot of the COVID controversy, whatever, but for as bad as I think it looked going into it, I think we kind of talked about it. It didn't look good. Things were, for how bad it looked going into it, I think it was a pretty successful Olympics, I would say.
I agree. Yeah. It was good kind of all around.
All righty. Off to the ML. Oh, we missed our trivia question. Name one of the two players who are tied for the most goals in U.S. soccer history with 57.
U.S. soccer history, for the Olympics or for?
No, for the World Cup, Olympics, international goals.
I have no idea. I don't know soccer. I don't know soccer.
You don't know any American soccer players?
I remember Tim Howard.
Okay.
But he was a goalie, I thought.
You don't remember the anyone else on that team that maybe scored a humongous goal in 2010?
I don't watch soccer.
I'm sure we'll still be friends, but I'm gonna hate you. I'm gonna hate you next fall. Actually, I don't know what I'm gonna do next fall because I'll have football and soccer. You know what? I may just the whole month of November next year. I think I'll just lock myself in a room. and just just football every Sunday, soccer every other day. Order food. So it's going to be great. And then World Cup qualifying is coming up this fall.
They didn't tell me the answers.
Oh well, I mean, I'm going to say that
maybe I'll recognize the names.
Yeah, like if Landon Donovan. No. You don't know who Landon Donovan is?
No.
Clint Dempsey.
I've heard that.
You suck. All right, you are the World Cup.
I don't watch soccer.
But you will be doing it this fall because it's for qualifying, and I'll force you. Also, I just saw this earlier. The U.S. are in the gold medal game for baseball as well. They will play host Japan. Yeah.
They beat okay.
Yeah, they beat the.
That's one that surprised me.
Yeah, I don't think they have any MLB players or I don't know who they're playing.
They do. I'll look. I'll look.
I'm pretty sure they don't. I think we talked about this before. There's no,
because I know the Dominican Republic has a bunch of MLB players.
Yeah, but they didn't play in this because the MLB season is going on.
True.
Yeah.
Let's see. 4 MLB vets. Todd Frazier's in the Olympics.
I do remember seeing his name.
Scott Kazmir, he's a pitcher for the Braves. David Robertson, he pitches for the Phillies, but he was kind of all over the place. And then Edwin Jackson, but he's 37. So,
doesn't he play for the Mets?
Edwin Jackson? No, that's Edwin Diaz.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, okay. Also, if you haven't watched any of the baseball games, I haven't either, but I saw the clip today. The bullpen cart is
it's awesome. They need that in every stadium.
Oh my God. And I just saw it today. I thought it was just going to be a golf cart that brought him up or whatever. No, he sits the pitcher that's coming in sits in a throne on the back that is a baseball glove.
Baseball glove, yeah.
It's
amazing.
I'm probably going to watch a gold medal game just for that. I just want to see that's awesome.
Okay, so what they're doing in the Olympics is they don't have pros on MLB teams. They have AAA guys over there.
Yeah.
So prospects.
Or even prospects, or maybe just older AAA guys too.
That's
where Todd Frazier, I would think, comes in.
Yeah, Todd Frazier. I remember Clint Frazier was training for the Olympics here in Jersey. I almost went and saw him play. He was the guy that was on the Yankees for a little while.
Yeah, whatever happened to him? He's
down in AAA, actually. He's playing real close to me. Like I said, I thought about going to see him because he was training for the Olympics.
Yeah, you know who he started with?
Cleveland.
Yeah. I gotta say,
factory for the Yankees.
Yeah, I know, but I will say, when we traded away Clint Frazier, I remember that was a big time prospect. I think we got someone good in return. And if he's not in the MLB yet, then that was a good trade for us. So you know what, Dolan's.
Well, he made the MLB. He played for a little while. They just sent him down when they got someone else in. I forget. I think Andujar came back and they moved him down, or something like that.
Whatever. The Guardians won that one. That's the only nice thing I'll say about the baseball team.
All right.
All right. I guess just to get down to the main point of our little MLB, the Dodgers are a legit super team in baseball. Which to the fact that I can play the show and trade for all these prospects for all these stars, and you can do that. They've put together a team that I honestly didn't think you could put together.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, and we can sit and have a little discussion here for 5 minutes or something. Yeah. I know it's not on the outline, but
yeah,
when you look at Sports Track and you look at the payroll for every team in the league, the Dodgers are spending, I think it was $291 million in payroll. The next closest team is the New York Yankees at 203.
I remember you saying.
If you're spending $90 million more than the Yankees, than the Yankees. What is going on? Like, why is this allowed?
I don't know if baseball will ever have a salary cap, but I think that all these trades that the Dodgers have made and how their team is, I would think that either the MLB PA or the MLB would have to look at something. Like, I don't know, maybe not putting a salary cap on it, but like, I know over in like Europe and in soccer, they can like penalize you, take away money and things.
Well, they have a luxury cap. That's what that is. They have to pay a percentage of the luxury cap that goes into some fund that's distributed out to the teams or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
my big thing is when you have a team like the Dodgers putting together this super team for $90 million more than anyone else, and then you look at the Cleveland Guardians, who their combined payroll throughout their entire organization is $46 million, there's a problem there.
Yeah, and it always was a problem with the Yankees. Mm-hmm. They've kind of come. I mean, they went out and got Giancarlo, and they kind of did it. But the Dodgers have taken it to a new level, like where
it's literally money is no object.
Yeah, the only translation I can really make is like European soccer. It's like Manchester City. It's like Real Madrid. It's like PSG. So I mean, what do you do to fix it though? Like,
the only real thing that you can say to fix it is to put a salary cap. But that's just something that you can't do this far late in the game for the MLB.
And players they would probably vote against the salary cap.
I mean, it's more than likely because then they stop getting these $500 million contracts. But baseball is already a dying sport. I'm getting back into it now, but something like this, I might be going to the Mets-Dodgers game when they come into town. If I go there and it's like 70-0, like why would I want to get into it if we're just going to have the MLB be super teams? Like, it's the same reason as to why I don't watch the NBA. Like, it's just 3 or 4 core teams battling it out all year in a longer season where the games really don't mean as much. And it's just it's something that I can't get behind if it's just going to be super team after super team.
And I have one more question, baseball, and we'll transition to basketball in a second because I kind of have a question coming off that about NBA. How are the Mets looking?
They're still in first place for the division, even though I guess like Pro Baseball Network or something did like a algorithm, and it said that barring injury, they had like a 20% chance of winning the division, even though they were in first by like 5 games. The Braves had the best odds, and now Acuna's out for the year, so skyrocket down. Actually, I think it was the Phillies had the second best odds because of the strength of schedule, but they suck. So
I'll say this before we move on. Baseball is one of those sports where I really do kind of think that anything can happen, like technically, like upsets and everything. But I really do think that the MLB will have to look at some type of salary cap. I would say out there right now, you have the Dodgers are really good. The Mets are pretty good. The Giants are pretty good.
Giants,
I don't know. They have decent teams out there. So if we go into the October this year in the playoffs and the Dodgers just sweep through everybody, then I think they seriously have to like look at fixing something because, like we've kind of talked about, the Dodgers are taking it to a new level. It's not just even like buying. I mean,
it's not just buying talent; it's buying all the talent because they're in the LA market.
Yeah.
And LA is a basketball and baseball kind of area, but like people are like wild about the Dodgers out there. Like if you look, like obviously.
Did you see the other night? They already were throwing stuff at Astros players.
Yeah, I saw the inflatable trash can. It was great.
Yes.
But when you're looking at the MLB, it makes sense when both the Los Angeles teams, both the Chicago teams, both the New York teams are all in the top 10 for spending, even though that's not the case right now with Chicago because both of them are in like 15, 16 range. But it makes sense because those are the bigger markets, whereas Cleveland or Kansas City is going to be towards the bottom because it's a smaller market. But it shouldn't be like that. Like there should be talent dispersed throughout the league. And that's not to say that the people on the Guardians or the Royals are not talented. They just don't have the superstar power to compete.
Yeah, yeah. So let's move on to basketball then, because it kind of transitions. But first, I think we would both have to agree. The Houston Astros punishment for what they did, they got away. I mean, that's like getting away with murder, correct?
It was absolutely nothing. It was a slap on the wrist.
Well, it's not even that. It's because because they went into last season with the pandemic, so crowds weren't even there though, too. So they didn't even get killed by. I mean, like I said, I heard that Dodgers fans were bad last night. Well, I mean, at this point,
send you a picture of what someone was handing out before the game. No. It was like this little sheet of paper. He was handing it out to people, and I think on the top part it was like, we're gonna chant like cheating Astros, and they had the whole stadium doing it, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. So, but also I will say, like, Dodger fans, like, you're not that far above Astros fans, but you didn't cheat, so I'll give you that. But you are kind of cheating now by just spending all the money. All right, so down to the NBA, and what we have obviously is NBA free agency, which used to be awesome and now is over within a minute, a matter of 2-3 hours. It's just over.
Yeah, because the moratorium just kind of destroyed that whole thing.
Well, and I mean, after their season ends, let's be real, they probably start talking to teams before they can. So whatever. So some of the big moves: Kemba Walker back to the Knicks. A little bit of a homecoming for him.
I mean, he never was on the Knicks, but he did have his games with UConn at MSG.
That's what I meant. And I guess I just don't really understand why the Knicks I mean, they re-signed Derrick Rose, too.
D Rose is really more of a six-man. He did well with kind of pulling the team together for the playoff run last year, but he's not the stud point guard that the Knicks need. And the Knicks struggled severely with offense, so they brought in Fournier and Kemba to try and balance out their team a little bit. So I really like the signing personally.
Oh, cool. And then they restructured. I just saw this before we came on, or I think before my interview I saw it. They restructured Randall's deal, I believe, or added an extension or something. I just saw his name and $117 million. So there's something involved there.
All right, then they probably extended him because I don't think he was. Yeah, agreed to a 4-year, $117 million extension. Yeah, I mean
that's actually
not too bad.
Yeah, that's not
for
too
NBA.
Bad. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. At least, hey, like we said, at least you're not signing, 40-year-old Chris Paul to a 4-year contract.
Well, I'm just going to point out with the Knicks, I haven't loved how they've handled free agency thus far because, like, they just re-signed a bunch of their guys that didn't really make sense to me. Like, re-signing Nerlens Noel, and who was the other guy that they re-signed? I forget.
Alex
they're signing weird people instead of going after some of the other guys. And, like, since you finally have a playoff run, people should want to come play in New York. Did you see what I sent you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
But I questioned the Knicks up until the Kemba Walker signing because I do think he will fit in well with who they have currently.
Yeah, and what I think the Knicks are doing, which I think actually makes sense, they weren't going to have a lot of money this offseason anyways, so I think they're bringing back most of their guys on either like 1-year deals or short deals, I believe. So they will probably have money next summer. And
that's the thing, though. It's not 1-year deals. They signed Noel to a 3-year deal, Burks to a 3-year deal, Rose to a 3-year deal. Fournier to a 4-year deal. Reggie Bullock came back apparently. Oh wait, no, I thought he went elsewhere.
I think he did.
Oh, he went to Dallas.
Yeah. Oh.
They brought back Taj Gibson for some reason, but like they're signing them to longer term contracts, which just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me because New York is once again like now that the Knicks. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they weren't great last year, but they made the playoffs, and people are kind of like I said. I was happy for Knicks fans. Like they finally had a good season. I mean, then it got absolutely stepped on their throats by Trae Young, but that's fine. But this kind of brings me to the question that we kind of had with the MLB. So a team like the Bulls, they went out, they signed a sign-in trade. I don't know. Basically, they signed DeRozan, got Lonzo Ball,
which was crazy to me. I thought he was going to Charlotte for sure.
Lonzo Ball, and then to play with his brother.
Yeah. All they need, LiAngelo is already in the farm system. I think he's in the G League for the Hornets. They have LaMelo. They needed to sign it, and then LeVar's dream could come true.
Yeah, but okay, but like back to what I was saying. So the Bulls did out, and they went out and signed all those guys, and this brings up the question to me, like, what's the point of that? Like. And I'll kind of relay this into a Cavs question too, because no one is signed with the Cavs. They don't have very much money to give away, but they do have an MLE. They have the MLE, and like they could trade Larry Nance too. So they don't have many options. But so you have to look at the NBA. It's almost like if you're not a big city like LA or Chicago or New York, your really only chance of like ever building to win a championship is literally just through the draft.
Yeah, getting lucky and getting the right, yeah.
Because like there was a time when like guys were drafted and they would stay with those teams forever, and even that they don't do anymore either. So like I look at something that the Bulls have done, and like I said, signed DeRozan, they got Vucevic, Zach LaVine, and Lonzo Ball now. That's a very good team. That's a very good starting five. But are they going to make it out of the East? Maybe. If they do make it out of the East, will they win the title? No. Like the title for like the NBA title still goes through LA, Milwaukee, Philly, like
potentially Miami with all the moves.
I don't like it all.
I don't like what they're doing, but they could put something together.
I will say congratulations to Duncan Robinson. I mean, if you ever heard his story, that dude's like gives. I mean, it's what dreams are made of, Tom. But seriously, good for him. He got a big bag. So, but yeah, it almost brings me to a point because like I talk about this with the guys I work with, King James, because I'm more on the side of like, it seems to me there's only two ways to win a title right now. You either have a big city, or B, you draft and get lucky, kind of like the Suns did. And then you get that one like older veteran free agent star maybe that just signed. And like Chris Paul did. So I don't know. Like I just don't see like what's the point of for the Bulls? What's the point of signing DeRozan and adding Ball? Like,
well, they're trying to put something together because there are the teams like the Suns, even though they drafted lucky and got Booker and Ayton. They brought in Chris Paul and they had the chemistry was really what drove them through as far as they did. So they're hoping that the Bulls are hoping that they can build on that chemistry because Alonzo's an unselfish player now, and he's a guy with great passing skills and can find the lanes and all that. They brought in DeRozan was the other guy. DeRozan. He can score sort of. They have Kobe White, Larry Markkinen. I don't really know the rest of their team, but they could potentially like put something together.
And they are a big enough city where people do want to go there. I understand. But for Cleveland, it's like the way I look at it, and people always disagree with me. Like for me, I'm like I don't want to make the playoffs next year. Like, I want to lose as many games as possible again next year, and then probably do that again the next year after that.
Yeah.
Like, because we've seen the process in Philly fail, and then we've seen the process kind of a different version of it, but kind of work for the Suns. So, like, when I see, like, in all of the other writers that I write with the Cavs, they're like, "Oh, I want to make the playoffs," and I'm like, "Why? Like, why? Like, you're not going to contend for a title this year." So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, and like the thing that's really interesting to me is like the Cavs have the second most cap space when you look at it. Every team other than the Grizzlies is in the negative, but like the Golden State Warriors are minus 95 million, whereas the Cavs are second with minus 12 mil. So they have the cap space, but they have 13 players already on their roster. So that might be why they don't sign anyone in free agency, because they'd have to make some corresponding moves to open up spots.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to.
But like the Knicks only have 8 people on their roster, and they have the 4th most cap space.
Yeah, and so like I said, I mean, I'll say it. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point, but I mean, Cleveland is just incredibly lucky they got LeBron James. Honestly, they got lucky that he was born in Akron.
Yeah, that's really what it was.
Like, they were just lucky he was born in Akron. Like, because even if he gets that, so say he gets born, I don't know, Sioux Falls, Iowa, whatever, and like, even if the Cavs do get the number 1 pick and they take him, he's still probably going to end up leaving right after his first stint, which was kind of what he did anyway. So, you know what? Never mind. But he never would have ended up coming back because it's not his city. So
yeah, exactly.
He would still be without a championship. So, and that's what I keep telling the people that I work with and write with. I'm like, there's just like, until we can get up there and get a guy like Cade Cunningham or Imani Bates, even though Imani Bates should be eligible next year. There's going to be questions about it. We'll see. And Jalen Durant, like, I just think you need to keep losing at this point. Like, you got
to commit to it, commit to the rebuild.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Cavs though, like, I don't think anyone right now would be on their list, because a lot of the free agents that are left are 25 or older.
Yeah. Well, no, well, the Cavs need veterans more than anyone.
Yeah, but like, what's Kawhi Leonard? Kawhi Leonard's still like the last big name free agent that's on time. What's Kawhi Leonard going to do for the Cavs? He's not going to get them to the playoffs.
I mean, I think we even touched on this earlier this week. Like, right now, like, I'm not signing Kawhi to a big deal. I would sign him for 20 mil for a year, probably. And I don't even know if I would do that much. Like, I just don't think he's worth it anymore. Like, I think he got his title in San Antonio, then was in the perfect situation with Toronto, and now he's with the Clippers. And
I saw that the Knicks are on his list. I think the Knicks is a great spot for him, because he will provide the veteran presence that they don't have, because the average age of the Knicks right now is 24 years old. He provides the veteran presence. He plays well with the defense, which is something that they still need to improve on, and he can score. They just need to lose Kevin Knox then.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Kevin Knox. That was the funniest when before the draft, when the rumors were going around about how Knicks wanted Sexton and they were going to, like, give up the 1920th picks and then, like, Kevin Knox. And I was just like, you guys can keep Kevin Knox. We don't need him. We'll take the picks. We don't need Kevin Knox. Or Obi Toppin. You can keep Obi Toppin too. All right, so
yeah, we can move on from the NBA. I talked way more about the NBA than I wanted.
And then we kind of talked about the Big 12 and everything. But the biggest story right now is Quinn Ewers, basically ESPN's number 2 overall prospect. He's supposed to graduate at the end of this school year, reclassified, and is now enrolled at Ohio State. He was older for his age, so he's already 18. Two things. This is going to set a huge precedent. I mean, and it's going to set huge legislation, because like in the state of so he's from Texas, obviously plays at South Lake Carroll, which is, I mean, their campus, I mean, it's better than Kent State's campus. It's crazy how much money they have in their stadium, and it's crazy. But now that guys like him, they can go to college like maybe a year early and get on there and get into the roster, into the school, so they can finally make seven figures. Like we talked about, Bryce Young has probably made seven figures. I have no doubt in my mind that Quinn Ewers will be making seven figures this year. And so I think what that does is, like, I guess I'll ask you openly, like, what are high school sports going to become? Like, is it just going to go to a full-time AAU version? Because I don't blame Quinn Ewers at all. Like, that's a good move. Like, go to Ohio State, start making money. And I mean, he's the best quarterback since Trevor Lawrence, supposedly. So he's actually probably going to end up starting this year at some point. And if he doesn't start this year, then all the pressure is going to be on CJ Stroud or Jack Miller, and they'll lose their job eventually. But so yeah, I guess just that. Like, what are high school sports become? Because I got to tell you, I'm sure that had Quinn Ewers been going to Texas University, it would have been different, because they'd been like, oh yeah, Texas, go away. But now they're taking their biggest star in Texas high school football, which is literally like a pro sport in Texas.
Yeah.
And he's going to Ohio and is going to make money. So what do you think it's going to become? Is there going to be state legislation that high school players can benefit off their name, image, and likeness? Or is it just going to go to an AAU model for everything?
It's going to just become a showcase of talent. It's literally going to become like the G League for whatever sports they're going to be working on, because teams are going to continue the scouting that they're doing now. And then they're going to say, hey, you can make X amount of dollars here with us because we already have deals lined up for you, because we were talking about how we like to get you and you're on our radar, and teams and companies have said that they'd sponsor you. It's literally going to become the G League and become free agency from high school.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be weird to see what college sports look like in 5 years. I'll just say that. Which also brings me to the next point. Okay, so we clearly know now that Oklahoma and Texas are going to the SEC. Most have said it will probably happen next year, and they'll buy themselves out. So now, if you're on, so you're not in the SEC. Say you're a Clemson, a Florida State, a Notre Dame, Ohio State, or Michigan. At this point, you can't really be sitting back and just being like, I'm going to do nothing. Like, I think I have no proof of this. I have no sources of this. It would shock me if the Big Ten commissioner or some of this, especially Michigan and Ohio State, and I don't know, maybe Iowa or Michigan State in the Big Ten, have not been in contact with Clemson and North Carolina and those guys, because that's what makes the most sense. People have said that Big 12, or not the Big 12, the Pac-12 and the Big Ten should merge. That makes sense bowl wise, but logistically it makes absolutely no sense. So that's weird. So yeah, I guess I think in 5 years from now, do you think it's going to be not 5 years, in 10 years from now, in 10 years from now, I think it'll probably be
an AFC and NFC situation. That's good too.
I think the Pac-12 and the Big 12 and the Mountain West, I think it's going to be the SEC, which with Oklahoma and Texas. I think it'll be the Big Ten with Clemson and Florida State and North Carolina and whoever else. And then I think you'll have, like I said, that group out west, the Pac-12. I don't know, they'll have 12 playoff teams, so it shouldn't be an issue. And then I think you'll just have your non-Power 5 teams. Conferences really don't exist, but it's been a very odd summer. And like I said, I'm very happy college football is coming back. But I'm excited to see Quinn Ewers play, but I also think this is I remember saying it about college basketball. I mean, this is, the college football landscape is going to change in the next 5 years more than it's changed in the past 100 years combined. So, all right. So what do we got now? I don't need to go over that. All right. Some NFL news. We have our. I just want to come out, and I said this to my dad yesterday too. I was like, you know what? It's so awesome to be a Browns fan right now because what happened to Giants camp is 100,000% would have happened to the Browns like 5 years ago. It would have been like that. That is the camp story you hear out of Cleveland every year. There was a massive brawl.
Over nothing.
Over nothing. Yes.
Over nothing.
And they're all friends. They don't hate each other or anything. They've all tweeted and they love each other. So, but there was a big brawl with the Giants. I believe it started with Evan Ingram and Jabril Peppers and Logan Kelly, or I don't know what his name is.
Logan, whatever. Yeah.
And then.
Oh, Logan Thomas. No, Logan Ryan. There it is.
Yeah. And then I gotta tell you, I like Joe Judge's. I like doing this as a coach. Like he made them do sprints and push-ups afterwards. I'm also going to tell you that that's not going to go over well with a lot of millionaires.
I don't know. I like Joe Judge's kind of response to this, and I like how he's been handling it too. I heard a report from one of my buddies sent it to me. After the practice or whatever, one of the reporters was writing an article, and he was like, yeah, you know, you couldn't really make out what he was saying from in the middle of the huddle, but you knew every other word started with F. So he's taken it like an actual, like almost a high school coach. And I kind of like the approach because it does bring these guys back down to earth and does kind of make them remember that they're playing football, not just making paychecks for nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, I will just say, it's not going to go over well with some of the guys. But I agree. I like it as well. I think a lot of these guys need to be pushed back to reality.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Gerald McCoy signed with the Raiders.
Oh, it did?
I think it's Gerald McCoy. I just saw McCoy signed with the Raiders. So I think it's Gerald McCoy. I'm not sure. Apparently the NFLPA is very, very worried about the new COVID, what is it? Like it's a new
the new policy that the league is doing.
No, it's not the new policy. Oh, the new Delta variant or whatever about the new COVID. They're very worried about that. So they're asking the NFL to do testing every day now. Again, they're actually asking for it, I believe, because they don't want to get the Delta thing passed around.
I heard that they wanted more frequent testing of the vaccinated players than what's currently stated.
Yeah.
Because the unvaccinated players get tested, I think, twice a week already, maybe 3 times a week, whereas the vaccinated players only got it once a week or once every 2 weeks. So I think they're trying to push for the vaccinated players to be on the same schedule and on the level schedule as the unvaccinated players.
And obviously this whole thing has been a political nightmare. It's just been a political nightmare. But I will say the NFL, I do like this. Like obviously you don't want the COVID going around, and you're always going to have guys who don't want to get the vaccine. So whatever, it benefits you if you have it. It doesn't benefit you if you don't. Whatever. Like I said, but the NFLPA is very worried about that. Yeah, so they are asking to step up. I mean, I haven't been to Browns training camp yet, but I mean, I get emails every day, and I got an email this morning. Only you had to be like they're only now. It's restricted kind of access depending on who you work for. So I never really had a chance to go there anyways, but now I definitely don't. I can definitely go watch if I want, but all right. And then obviously stories coming out of Cincinnati are not good right now, and that Joe Burrow looks terrible. Okay, he's on our fantasy team. Are we worried about Joe Burrow?
Well, when you say he looks terrible, I need you to elaborate a little bit more on that.
There was a report yesterday. He's throwing picks, balls that last year were like right on target are missing. Clearly, he's still thinking about the knee. I think because there were, I guess, multiple times where he like was in the pocket, just felt him getting closer to him, and like kind of went down on his own. I personally would not say I'm worried. I mean, the dude won a national championship at LSU, and not only that, he dominated it. And his rookie year, he was fine. I more attribute this to and I think we'll both agree on this one. They should have drafted Penei Sewell. I think we both agree on that, correct?
100%. And if they didn't, they needed to go out and sign linemen. They didn't do any signing of linemen.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I said. I was like, their offensive line still sucks. And the guy, I mean, it's his first major injury in his life. Like, I got to tell you, I mean, I'm not a pro athlete, but I mean, if I was a quarterback and my ACL had been torn the year before, I'm going to be a little bit cautiously optimistic about things in practice. Like, I don't want to, but apparently he's jumpy and things like that around the knee.
Yeah, like he not only tore the ACL, but he tore like the MCL and PCL or something like that too. So he had a devastating knee injury, and he's only 9 months removed from that. I think he just needs some time to get back into it. I'm not too worried, but they definitely should. I think isn't Anthony Schwartz and Eric Fisher both still free agents?
Anthony Schwartz is a wide receiver from Auburn. Browns drafted.
Well, then Mitchell Schwartz.
Oh, I have no idea. I think Mitchell Schwartz retired. I thought.
I'll look it
up. Yeah, you can look it up. Obviously, we have the Hall of Fame game tonight. We kind of mentioned that earlier. It's a dumb game. I don't know why they do it. Neither Dak or Ben will play. I would be shocked if you saw. I don't know.
Schwartz was coming off an injury. I think Fisher was too. Schwartz and Fisher were both coming off injuries.
Yeah. But yeah, I would be surprised if you saw starters for more than, I don't know, a first down. So I'm not going to watch it, but whatever. And then let's get into some of the Madden ratings. All right. So how do we think about the 99 Club? Who we got here? Who is in
Aaron Donald, Devontae Adams, Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce make up your 99 Club.
Okay. I don't know how much I'd agree with Travis Kelce at 99, but I do want to say this, and this kind of has to do with Madden, kind of not. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a down year this year. Not saying he's going to throw like a lot of picks and be terrible, but I don't think you're going to see him at the form he was, when he won the MVP. Yeah, I think they're due for, a little bit of a turn down, which obviously I've convinced myself of completely so that the Browns can win the AFC, but I actually do think that they're due for a little bit of a setback. Devontae Adams, I got to be honest. I agree with Aaron Donald. Myles Garrett should be 99 in my opinion.
He's 98.
Yeah, I don't think Devontae Adams.
See, I have a bigger problem with the 98 Club than the 99 Club, I think. Because the 98 Club is DeAndre Hopkins, Myles Garrett, Tyreek Hill, and Zach Martin. DeAndre Hopkins should be a 99.
Yes, I agree.
Myles Garrett, I could give you the 99.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill shouldn't be nowhere near a 98.
Agreed.
He should be like a 92, 94, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then Zach Martin's coming off an injury, but I think he played decent last year, I guess. So they gave him a 98. But like that feels like one that they gave him a 98 for his name and his previous rankings.
Yeah, and then, well, like I said, I was saying, there should be one player on the Packers that's ranked 99. It should be Aaron Rodgers. It shouldn't be Devontae Adams.
100%.
I mean, I still think, even over Patrick Mahomes, I still think Aaron Rodgers is the most gifted physical quarterback in the league right now. So I think he should be 99. I'm also just going to say I disagree with Diggs. I think Diggs is a 98 or 99. 100%.
Tom Brady should be a 99 again.
Tom Brady should be a 99.
Stephon Gilmore should be less than a 97.
Agreed. Christian McCaffrey, 97. I like that it's high, but I don't think he should be ranked that high.
Now I'm feeling 94, 95 because he only played 5 games last year.
Well, I think he only played 2 or 3. But either way, yeah, he's coming off an injury.
How do you rush for 2,000 yards and not get over a 96 for Derrick Henry? I mean, he literally is one of 8 people, I think, to do it, and they give him a 96. And he's not even the highest rated running back because of McCaffrey.
Yeah, it's weird. I think Khalil Mack's a little too high.
Where's Mack? 96? I think that's about right. Maybe a 95.
I think probably I would put Nick Chubb at 95 and Dalvin Cook at 96, maybe.
I would flip it as well.
Yeah. If not, I might put Nick Chubb at 95, and I actually might put Alvin Kamara at 96. I
agree with that too.
If there's one running back that should be ranked 97 because of how fat, in
his play overall, it should be Kamara.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I agree. So I guess
yeah, we can look at more positional stuff. When I look at the quarterback list of the top 10, I'm just very confused. I understand Russell Wilson is a great quarterback, but he had sort of a down year and ended up, I think, getting a boost. He's a 94 this year. I don't understand that. Lamar Jackson can't throw a football more than 10 yards after last season, and he's somehow still a 91. Deshaun Watson is a 90. But Josh Allen, who massively improved his game and put himself into MVP contention from his sophomore to his junior season after last year, he doesn't get a boost. He's still an 88 overall. I don't understand how that happens. Maybe you can incite me on something.
I'm just trying to pull up right now. I couldn't figure out how to do the only positions, but I figured it out, so we're good.
Oh, are you just on the Madden 22 website?
Yeah, but
okay. Gotcha.
I got it through all the quarterbacks. I agree.
Sorry,
I wasn't. Can you repeat what you said? I got your point about Josh. I got it about Josh Allen. I didn't hear what you said about the other one, so I was trying to. Sorry.
Russell Wilson had sort of a down year. Yes. I understand he's still good. He's a 94. That's fine. Lamar Jackson at a 91 can't throw the football more than 5 yards, and
I agree.
He took a little bit of a downturn or whatever for his rating. Deshaun Watson at 90. Josh Allen literally moved himself from a afterthought QB to an MVP candidate and did not get one overall better, according to Madden.
I'll say this: I like Josh Allen too as well. If you had to re-rank these, I think Lamar Jackson gets the 88. You actually give Josh Allen the 91, and then I think Deshaun Watson's a little too high. I would drop Russell Wilson down to a 92.
I would move Allen up to a 93, 94. I think he is better than Wilson after last season, because they're going year to year.
Yeah, I don't know how much I agree. I like Josh Allen, so I agree. He's too low, definitely too low. I don't know. No, that's fine, actually, I guess. I wouldn't have Matt Ryan or Ryan Tannehill above Baker, but I can understand that. I would have Matthew Stafford above Baker. So,
yeah, I was going to say he should definitely get a jump up.
Maybe the most disappointed I am, and this could come as no surprise to you.
Yeah, I know.
Kyler Murray should be way higher than an 82. Not way higher. I'll say this. I'm okay with Baker at 84. I think Kyler Murray should be at least 84, if not like 85, 86. Then.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're giving Baker an 84, then Kyler should probably get an 86.
Yeah, I agree completely.
I was really thrown off by the young guys, though, on this list. Like, Justin Herbert only got an 80.
I'm just looking at that, too. That makes – yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence, who hasn't played a snap, is a 78. So you're telling me Herbert, after putting up insane numbers as a rookie with the Chargers, is only 2 overall better than a guy who hasn't taken a snap on the Jaguars?
And then I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a great season, but whatever. I think Burrow's too low. First of all, Herbert should be up to like an 82, 83 at least.
Yeah,
I think
he should be around where they have Kyler right now. If you really want to look at it that way.
And if anything, I would put probably Burrow at 80, or I could probably do him at 79. I think Burrow's good, and then I didn't look at the other rookies yet.
Zach Wilson is a 75. Trey Lance is a 74, which I don't understand.
That makes to me that makes sense.
I mean, I understand wanting to keep the rookies relevant, sort of, but what I don't understand is Trey Lance played 15 games in college with D3 school, and he's 1 overall worse than Wilson. Not that I don't really care. I just don't buy into the Trey Lance hype as much, which there has been a lot of recently. I don't know if you've been following.
Oh, well, yeah, there's been a lot of hype from Jimmy Garoppolo. He said, what's his face said that he's bringing out the best in Jimmy. No, I agree with that, what you said about Lance. I just think that once they kind of get the number 1 quarterback, the rookie quarterback down at the highest, I think they just try and keep them grouped together. But you're right. I would probably keep Zach Wilson at 75. Personally, I would put Justin Fields at 74 or 75. I would put Trey Lance down to like a 72.
Yeah.
And Tua, I think, is still too high at 73.
Yeah.
You know what? I will. This is your boy. I'll say this. Carson Wentz should be a little bit higher than 72.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize he was all the way down there. That's crazy.
Sam Darnold got totally screwed here. He's not great, and he hasn't won. Yeah, but he's the same rating.
He's better than Jones and Hurts and Daniel Jones.
Yes. Sam Darnold, if anything, I think should be around the 73, 74, 75. Personally.
He's better than Tua. I would say he's on par with Winston and Bridgewater. But oh my God, that's atrocious. Drew Lock is, I think, correctly rated at 70.
And then
Gardner Minshew hasn't taken a poop in 2 weeks, and he got a 69 for it. I mean, what better rating for Gardner Minshew?
He's great. I am happy that Mitchell Trubisky is still ranked too high, in my opinion. Mariota is ranked too low still. I think, in my opinion, if you're the Raiders this year, I think the leash has to be short on Anderson, and I would give Mariota a try again. I think Mariota could, if he's in the right system, I think he could be good.
Hey, I just also wanted to give a shout out. I actually saw this prior to the show, and I was like, Kellen Mond at 67, which isn't great. But you look at the guys that he's ranked around: Taysom Hill, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Love, Joe Flacco. Shout out to Kellen Mond for getting a good ranking. Apparently, we're not the only ones that think highly of him if they're comparing him to some backups right now.
Wait, what was I just going to say? Who are we talking about?
Kellen Mond.
Oh yeah. We missed this during the NFL segment, or we kind of mentioned it with Wentz's injury, but Texas is back. Sam Ehlinger. Everyone has been saying it. I got to tell you, no, you didn't. Oh, you might have. I am not buying it at all. I would like to see him start. I think it would be interesting. But no, it's not Texas is back. Sam Ehlinger is not back.
He will. Okay, I'll say this. I would like to see him start after we watch Jacob Eason flame out, because I have zero faith in Jacob Eason. I really don't like him, but I am a big fan, and I know I've mentioned it to you on the show here. I am a big fan of Ehlinger, and I think that Reich will build a nice system around him if he's forced to start him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do with what you got. All right, well,
I'm not going to say Texas is back, though. Sorry. No, absolutely not.
Texas is not back. I mean, we could go over every position. I don't think we need to.
So what position, let's just do it like this. What position do you think is the most messed up? Like, which one is the most wrong?
I think the way they rate running backs is wrong.
I was going to say, running back, I think, is pretty janky.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, this year I'm not really happy with the quarterbacks either. Like, Justin Herbert should be higher. Stafford should be higher.
But like you look at the running backs, Marlon Mack coming off an ACL injury is an 84, but Jonathan Taylor is an 83.
Seriously, I haven't even looked at the running backs yet.
That's what I'm saying. Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor are. I don't understand these ratings. James Robinson at an 86 is good, but I'm sure that they have ETN at some ungodly number. Cam Akers is still an 82.
82? Seriously?
Still, yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, like, why is Damian Williams an 80? He didn't play at all last year because he opted out for COVID, signs with Chicago, and now is an 80? Montgomery's an 82. How does that work?
I have no idea.
The Colts have 3 running backs that are 80 or better. I'm just saying, because Nyheim Hines got an 80.
Yeah, I actually knew that because they were trying to come up with a nickname for their running backs because they have like 4 of them.
Monster.
All right. The only other question I care about Madden is how well are our players? How good are our players in Madden?
How good are our players? Well, we saw Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert already.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So very much disappointment there. Okay.
Very much so. Our running backs, we have Dobbins, who I think I saw was an 81. What are our other running backs? I always forget.
Montgomery is
an 82. I'm pulling it up.
It's DK Metcalf.
Oh, yeah. I haven't gotten over to the wideouts yet.
Yeah, I can't.
Let's see. Wideouts. I think I saw DK's like a 90. He's an 89. How is that? How is that possible?
You think that's too low?
Yeah.
I think it is
I would
too.
say so.
I think it is too.
He didn't even break top 10.
George Kittle, though, is probably pretty high for us.
I saw he's a 96.
And then what about who's our other tight end? Is it no? It's not. Yeah, we do have Freiermuth, I believe, right?
Gesicki. Yeah, we have Freiermuth.
Yeah, Gesicki was 86 last year, I think.
Last year?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. I'm going to look at the wideouts. You look at the tight ends. Jerry Jeudy is probably not going to be ranked too high. They only gave A.J. Brown an 86.
Yeah, I did know that, actually. I did know that.
Yeah, I don't see. Jerry Jeudy is a 79. And then Claypool is a 78. Josh Jacobs, our running back, is an 89, I saw. We have Sam Darnold. Kenny Drake's an 83. I didn't see Zach Moss or Michael Carter. Like,
They're probably pretty. Yeah, they're probably pretty low.
yeah, since they're young.
I don't know. See, I get so excited for the Madden ratings, and they always just find a way to disappoint me.
Michael Pittman's a
like
73. That's going to be
realistically, I think there should be like they should every year only have a group of 599s. And personally, if I were to group 599s this year, I would go Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, Jalen Ramsey.
So 3 of your 5 on defense.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers, I would give it to him over Patrick Mahomes, even though I really don't think there should be a quarterback 99. Yeah, I'm sorry, I scratch it. They should be 99 anyways. And then I think D Hopkins and Stephon Diggs. I would put Stephon Diggs in there as well. I like Stephon Diggs a lot.
See, I feel like you need to do like 8 and do like 4 and 4. Get 4 offense, 4 defense. You know what I mean? And do it kind of like that. So, like, if you're doing the 4 defense, it's, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald.
What's Chase Young? What's Chase Young rated?
That's a good question. I'll guess he's probably around a 90-ish.
He's got to be.
What is he, defensive end?
Yeah, he's got to be right or left. I don't know.
That's why I'm just going to click both. Chase Young is... Okay, J.J. Watt at 94 is overhyped. Sorry.
Yeah, of course. He was like 96 in last year's game.
He's an 86.
That's way too low. Okay, I won't say it's way too low.
It's low.
He should be in the 90. Yeah, he should be in the 88, 89, 90. Yeah, he should be.
He's about, I would say, as good as Danielle Hunter and Stephon Tuitt at 89.
Yeah, he's your B plus, A minus. I don't know, I think that's all the Madden ratings.
We could sit here and talk about this for hours, though, because we could go through every player and argue why they're too low. But then you have to remember, like, if everyone's too low, maybe we're just thinking too highly.
Yeah, it's our fault. So we're going to move our NFC Beast to next week. We'll do that next week. Let's close it up with the Mount Rushmore.
Okay. Of the sports that should be in the Olympics.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't. Okay. Odds or evens?
I'll take the double up, so I'll go second.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take one, and this is just simply for, we win gold every year. Football. Football should be in the Olympics. We would win the gold medal literally every year.
There would be no other team competing.
But you say that, but oddly enough, I've met enough people that have actually gone over and coached football in China and things like that. So yeah, they're not as. Hey, I didn't say why it should be the Olympics. I just want another gold medal. I want us to prove that we're the best at football. You know what? Maybe I'll work this in somewhere else down the line. There should be a World Cup of football. And we just dominate everybody. Or it should be the United States versus the world.
Yeah, see, I like that. I could get behind that. USA versus the world.
Didn't they try and do that though? I feel like they did with high schoolers 5 years ago. And it was
maybe.
All right, so I got football. Easy.
Okay, I have a question because I just don't know if this sport that I have in mind is in the Olympics already or not, because I would never go out of my way to watch it. But is rugby in the Olympics?
Yes.
Okay.
The only reason I know that is because the Australian team got kicked out of the Tokyo Village because they threw up, peed, and partied everywhere. So they got kicked out.
That's awesome.
So yeah, rugby's in. But if you want to take rugby, you can, because there's like two different types of rugby, and there's only one in the Olympics. So if you want to take rugby can.
Well, then I'll take the other type of rugby just to have it. And then my other one, a little more interesting, disc golf. If you have regular golf, disc golf should be in the Olympics, because some of those people are just crazy good at disc golf for some reason, and it's so much fun to watch the frisbee.
All right. Oh, I got one. Okay. Yeah. Beer pong should be in the Olympics.
100%. Yes. Get me on the team. I'm ready.
And then this is a weird one, but I actually like this. When my family, we have like you have like a shore house. We rent one up by the lake for like a week, and shuffleboard. Shuffleboard can be competitive.
I thought it was in the Olympics at one point. No, I don't think it is anymore, but I thought it was at one point. So yes, they should definitely bring it back. Well, wait, are you talking about like the shuffleboard that you use, like the stick to push it, or the hand shuffleboard?
The stick to push it.
Okay, because they also have the little shuffleboard. Yeah, I was thinking shuffleboard because I was like, hey, what's really fun in the Winter Olympics is watching the
curling.
Curling, exactly. And going off that, if you're looking for like another one that's like a beer buddies on the weekend would go and play it, get Olympic kickball going.
A+ pick. Oh, A+ pick.
It would literally be a beer league every 4 years. Right? Kickball. And then my other one, another kind of like beer league thing. I don't know if you could do a beer league though. Dodgeball would be insane.
Damn it, you just took mine. That was fine. Dang it.
Dodgeball. Watching people do like ninja flips over the ball and like karate chopping and like catching it on the back here. Just be like all over the place. Oh, dodgeball clips would be amazing from the Olympics.
All right, for my last one, I think your list is incredible. That's incredible. Wait.
If you want to take dodgeball, I had another in the arsenal.
I have another one. I'm good. I have to kind of explain it, but putt should be in the Olympics.
I love it. But
I'm not talking like
you're talking like holy moly.
Putt. Like weird. Like I need the objects moving. Like it's not just about your putting. It's you got the objects moving. You know what? Maybe even include like in putt like a little like chipper thing if you could need to chip the ball up. I'm all in on putt. All
right, and then I have one like honorable mention / two honorable mentions.
You can list them. Yeah, absolutely.
Laser tag / airsoft / paintball. Any of those three. Have an Olympic paintball or airsoft or laser tag, whichever you want to do. Laser tag has the least amount of injury. So, Olympic laser tag.
Olympic laser tag. I think Olympic paintball would be better, but
same thing. But I'm just saying, if you don't want people to get hurt, laser tag is the safe option.
Yes, I will also say this though, with laser tag or any of those other ones, there are some countries that I think would like try and actually kill the other team.
like pull the sensor off their thing, put it on their head, and go.
Yeah, like
that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, so I agree. Laser tag would be fun. I mean, you could do all the beer if you like party games. You could do flip cup. I mean, everything. Is, what else? Ping pong is in the Olympics, so that's good. Yeah, I don't know. I think
I saw polo, but like no one really plays polo ever.
Yeah, English people do. And it's for like really, really rich people.
Why didn't we say cricket? Cricket's not in the Olympics.
I know, but like I don't think. I promise everybody out there that's listening, one day we will go over the rules of cricket, because I think cricket should be in the Olympics, but I also don't know if like there's enough time for them to be in the Olympics.
They have 2 weeks.
I'm pretty sure the matches take like a weekend. So I don't know, but disc golf was A+ for you, and then kickball A+, and then leading to dodgeball. That was great. Once again, I like football just because we win the gold every year. Beer pong, that was easy. Shuffleboard, but I think putt-putt would be fun. And
Putt-putt would be great.
Yeah, I mean, anything paintball-wise. Oh, going off your disc golf.
I was just going to say.
Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah, ultimate. Yo, but even going off that, can jam. If we're doing like a beer league.
Oh, my God, yes.
Olympic can jam.
Oh, well then,
Lawn.
no, you're almost there.
Spike ball.
Nope. Throw the bean.
Spike ball, though. Oh, cornhole.
Cornhole, yes. Cornhole.
Olympic cornhole. Olympic spike ball, though. People just going crazy with the little slaps on. Oh, my God.
Have you
They got to get us on the Olympic committee.
Have you seen spike ball when they actually play?
Yeah, dude.
I have no idea how these guys. No idea. Like
they go for a diving catch, just hit it up in the air, has the perfect spin to hit it in the middle. Their teammate hits it again, and then he somehow gets back up from like 20 feet that way, and then comes in and like slams it. I'm like, oh, it's crazy. People are insane at that.
Yeah. I will say ESPN has not had the greatest reputation lately, but their inclusion of last one that needs to be added. Slam ball.
Yes.
With the trampolines.
Slam ball.
Yeah.
I think we just came up with like 30 sports they need to add.
Yeah, we need to pen a letter to the IOC, and
we'll send them a copy of this video. We'll just be like, hey, go to like the hour 15 mark and just watch for the next 15 minutes and just let the ideas sink in.
Yeah, I think if the IOC shuts us down, we may have to just form our own Olympics.
We will have the coast to coast Olympics.
Yes. All right. So that was a good Mount Rushmore. That was good.
That was great.
That was great, and we did a good job. And all right. So before we wrap up, when are you going back to school?
I believe I leave the 20th.
Okay, so you still got 15 days. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll talk before that. I was just kind of wondering when you're going back to school, but
I'm leaving the 20th. My classes start the 25th, so I'll probably I'm leaving around the 20th because we might leave like the 21st. I'm looking at my calendar up here. I move in. Move-in's on Monday the 23rd. That's when I can physically get my keys. So it's just we want to get out there, like see how my stuff in storage has held up over the past year and a half.
Jesus.
So
hopefully there's no one living in there.
Probably gonna have to buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So next week on the show, I think we're gonna try and have Zach on. Because I think we should do a kind of a full fantasy football show, and then
I have an idea.
Yeah, and then obviously we'll form our own show off that. But I think we'll have Zach on next week, and then we can do we'll definitely cover the NFC East and then maybe the AFC South Tuesday and Thursday. But I think both of that we should focus a lot on fantasy just because I'll be going to the Expo that weekend, and I could use to learn some things. So
when I have my drafts, my main drafts, 23rd and 24th.
Wow. Okay. So big days coming up for you. Over at Flurry, we are selling merch. Definitely check it out. I don't know why we didn't put a link in here, but we are selling merch. We have one brown shirt for our fans. Clowny. It's not my favorite. I'm thinking about other ones. But so if anyone has any ideas, throw them at me.
Hot Chub Time Machine.
You might have just got one right. I'm
telling you, bro. I got them all up here.
Hey,
Baker's Dozen.
Oh, yeah. Baker's Dozen. Yeah.
But Hot Chub Time Machine.
Yeah, I think that's incredible.
Put like Nick Chubb's face. I guess you can't put his face. But like, if you could put him in a hot tub with a clock on it, hot chub time machine, it's perfect.
Yeah. So, I think we should do a little bit more fantasy next week. And then obviously, with it coming down, fantasy football starting in, I don't know, what, 4 weeks. So we'll have that for you next week. And then obviously I'll come back with some new things from the Fantasy Expo for anybody. And then, so it'll be USA versus France. Who do you think wins?
I mean, the only answer you can really give is the United States. But seeing as to how our last meetup went, I'm kind of worried.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think Durant gets him through it. But we'll see. We'll see. So that's going to do it for today. Good show. We'll be back to NFL next week, like I said. And everybody have a wonderful day.
Go Dogs.